Play no games. Freaky. I can learn a lot from you. Gotta come teach me. You a little hot girl. You a little sweet too. Sweet like Kayla, sweet like peach. I can tell you crazy. She couldn't. Seen it on the plan, trying to see that shit. I know I get her cause I like her. She can lock it down, I can tell by how you. Seen how you did, homeboy, so please take it. Good to have me on your side, I ain't saying that you. This got trouble, but I ain't. Hey. No. Seen how you did, homeboy, please take it easy on me. I don't wanna play no games, play no games. I don't wanna play no games, play no games.
Welcome to Love, Lies, and Lace Friends, where we do reactions, reviews, and commentary on the YouTube channels you love to watch. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notifications so you can be notified every time I go live. Morning. Good morning. Hey guys, what's going on? Let me open my window so I can be nosy looking out on these streets. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. No, I really like to just look at my Bradford pear tree. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Someone said my name. Let me see. Someone's put Francoise in the chat. Good morning, guys. I have a treat for you guys in a little bit over on Real Talk Bougie because I was gonna go live last night and then I got into doing some research on some things. So anyway, Lady Ella, hey boo. Hey boo. Hey boo. Hey boo, what's going on first? Was Lady here first? I think so. Hopefully I didn't get sometimes like the StreamYard view and the actual is not always precise. In any case, I didn't get to see, but this is what StreamYard is telling me. 1, 2, 3 first. Hopefully that's correct. If it's not, my bad, y'all. But welcome to all of the good people who've come through this morning. I appreciate y'all so much. Good morning. I did just drop a video. I didn't really want to talk about that this morning. I started working on that yesterday, and then I remembered this morning, like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and put that out real quick because sis over here going over there to damn Instagram trying to be cute and controversial and thinks that people aren't going to know what's going on, but it's like, come on, girl, stop it. Stop. It was funny. Anyway, I thought I wasn't really sure what we were going to talk about this morning, but I was watching Rose yesterday on Queen of Kings. And ma'am admitted she really doesn't like being a mother of 4. Did you guys see that, sis? And then sis was showing her gymnastics and twerk skills last night. I don't think we're gonna watch that one. But she was up, which, in Hawaii, they're like 8 hours behind us. But ma'am was live and doing all kinds of gymnastics in the empty apartment that they're living in. Let me see what you guys are saying. She doesn't know a lick about politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I think. You don't necessarily have to be super duper like on a public platform, you should at least know what you're talking about, right? So I agree with you there. You should at least, if you have a idea or you have a stance on something, you should be able to articulate the whys around it, right? You should be able to express to someone why you feel the way you do or how you came to this opinion, right? And if you're ready to, like, this woman is crazy. Really, for me, I was just demonstrating the cuckoo crazy of it all. Seriously. It's not even to quantify. People need to not put people who do things like this on camera on a pedestal. This has no place on anybody's pedestal. She doesn't deserve to be on any proverbial uh pedestal whatsoever. Nobody should think that she can do better. Like, let's just actualize, realize, and accept it is what it is. It's this stupid. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, sis is giving what she's giving, and we're gonna get what we're gonna get from her. But I thought it was worth putting out because the one thing that ma'am could learn how to do is shut her mouth. I'm not expecting someone to be smart who's not. I'm not asking someone to be smarter who isn't capable. Um, Maybe in this lifetime, she could just learn to shutty the mouthy, shut up, or talk to someone who actually cares, which may not be her platform, right? um, that would be even just a ray of hope, right? But we can't expect those who are not able to all of a sudden be exceptional, right? Like, let's just remember who we're talking about here, okay? So that's all I'm saying. Um, because I feel like sometimes in this mom community, hey boo, how are you? Hey boo boos, all of my boo boos and my bebes, good morning. I feel like sometimes in this mom community, there is, because I think as mothers and as women, we're all very hopeful, helpful beings naturally. I think we know that there is possibility out here, that there is hope. And I think that it's easy to kind of believe that people can, should, and may want to do better. Girl, bye. I know that that is true. I do believe in that, but I don't put that in. People got to want it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't do it for them. And there are people on this platform, they just love to be with the shits. They love to be with the shits. They think that they're okay where they're at, and that's it, and that's all. So, and they will also want to make us think that what they're doing is cute and okay, which is why they turned on a YouTube channel and want us to consume the calamity and the chaos and the shenanigans of their life and think like, what are you talking, like, isn't this normal? No, it's not normal. But what is the gag too, is that these people live in clusters and communities of people somewhat living exactly like them. Liv has seems to have a very small social group. And who's her main influencer? Her mom. Look at her mother. She doesn't see anything wrong with what she's doing because the main person who influences her, who is her mother, agrees with her and is also teaching her. Yeah, we're not even going to qualify it, India. I think that ma'am is ignorant, and I didn't want to spend too much time on that, but I get what you're saying. I think that she doesn't understand how this thing works, and sometimes showing grace to people and your and community is to just keep your mouth shut on something for a minute, right? And right now isn't really the time to throw out conspiracy theories because there's no proof in what she's saying. um what title? My title? You thought we were talking about Peyton, Gina, or Lily? These social media moms. Well, yeah, it could be any of them. I mean, any girl. It could be, yeah, it could be anyone, anything. Um, what was I watching? Peyton was doing some commentary on the situation. I guess her kind of first reaction on what happened with the video. I saw Gina put out a video talking about the kids were getting on her nerves. I don't watch Lily much. I don't know why, because sometimes maybe I mean I don't. I guess I don't watch her enough to really get a grasp on what's going on. And I don't know, Gina is, Gina has her ways. Yeah. And but yeah, I still haven't gotten through Peyton's whole live. I watched about 2 hours of it. I watched a good portion of it. Um but I'm a little bit behind on the ladies. Liv's first video, yeah, she's stupid. We're not even going to talk about it. My commentary on that whole entire topic is in that video, just to be honest. Like, and then I did over 2 hours on my other channel. I linked the video. um Liv is just, I think sometimes when people say crazy things, she's not even, I don't even call her Candace Owens. Candace Owens can talk you down as to why she feels the way she does. And Candace Owens, she'll never be. You know what I mean? I don't have a ton of respect for Candace Owens, but Candace Owens is on a whole nother, and I get what you're saying about Candace Owens Jr. She's like, she's Liv is uniquely herself. I'm not even going to give her Junior this or anyone well known that, because Candace Owens actually can formulate a sentence. She has very controversial, very conservative, very left, or very conservative views. So I guess she's on the far right. Um I don't live Liv doesn't even meet that standard. I don't think that Liv is not able to articulate a fully formed idea. She speaks in sound bites because she heard something, and her mom is probably rattling some stuff off in the house that she thinks sounds smart or provocative, and she wants to have something to talk about. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Um okay. Let me see. Anyway, I don't want to talk about her. If you guys want to talk about that, we'll talk about it. I did get some stuff about what's going on with Sean Massey. I did pull his indictment. So I have the full indictment. I have the statement from the Illinois state police. I have a couple of documents. I got some receipts of what's going on. The one thing I do want to say about Sean Grayson, excuse me, regarding the Sonia Massey thing is, so apparently, Lambo, sir, I'm talking. Um, is who did you guys hear that he has an ostomy bag? I think he had colon cancer and he's got an ostomy bag. And then it was the 6 jobs in 4 years. You guys know I've been in recruiting for over 20 years. I'm an HR person. And that's a huge red flag. That work history of his is atrocious. Um, and there really should be, just like they've got all of our license numbers, all of our driver's licenses and real ID. I'm not saying that all employment records, Lambo. Ooh, they are challenging. It's a challenge today. Um, he had 6 jobs in 4 years. This is what I want to say. So just like we have real ID, and you can trace from state to state now your driving records and all of those things. civil servants of like a law enforcement nature, why is there not, obviously there's the FBI database, but why aren't all of them being tracked through fingerprints, socials, birthdays, and whatever their license to carry is or their professional law enforcement? You know, just like you have bar numbers, if they can trace lawyers around the country with bar numbers and people are licensed in this state, that state, whatever state, or if it's a federal case, like immigration is federal and things like that, so you can do that in whatever states you want. If they can track you through a bar number, why can't law enforcement be tracked to the point where you look someone, girl, yes, yes ma'am, that's what they said on the news, okay? um then you would be able to see, just like teachers, you've got a teacher who is doing weird shit in one county, and then they go over and then now they're dating your son and he's 16 and they're 27 or 30 years old. It's inappropriate. Now they're pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, that happens far too much. Last year, I got numerous stories about these grown ass women, I don't care, over 20 something years old, all up in these schools messing around with people's kids. A mess. Okay. Doing all kinds of inappropriate stuff. And there needs to be in that same system for Homeland Security or FBI that they use to track driver's licenses and all that whole real ID system that they put into place, add an additional component and have them subscribe to it. You know what I mean? It's like almost turning a blind eye to the protection of the people because you don't want to add that additional layer or add y'all add additional departments and don't ask our permission. Can you add something that actually protects people? Because somebody who has 2 DUIs and is in law enforcement, it's the irony for me of somebody who has a badge, a uniform, and a weapon who can pull someone over for drinking that just got pulled over for drinking not too long ago. You got 2 DUIs, which means that you're okay with driving around because most people will have a couple of glasses of wine and a drink and will never be pulled over. By the time you're pulled over 2 times for DUI, that's what you do. Okay. And then now you're in a position as a state police officer to pull people over and make a judgment about who gets to go home and who doesn't get to go home. Are you kidding me? There really needs, and I know we want our civil liberties, but that would be something I would be okay with because I'm not worried about being in multiple databases because you're not going to have to look me up. You know what I'm saying? I won't be coming and I won't be going. I won't be doing and I won't be acting any type of way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about that. That doesn't bother me. But the people that bother me need to be up in there and need to be searchable because these type of things is going far beyond, like it costs too much money. If somebody would have made a better decision about a hire named Sean, whatever his last name is, I'm forgetting it now. If somebody would have thought differently about hiring Officer Sean, Sonia Massey might still be alive. You know what? Uh yeah, they have to fill seats because you know what? I don't have anyone that works in law enforcement, but just look at it this way, Retro and my fro. Somebody needs a day off. You know what I mean? Someone out there has been working back to back shifts, which is not good either, right? Fatigue, mental kind of fitness and rest time. Um, they don't get time with their people. They don't get time with their family. You drive away good employees too because they're overworked. They may feel underpaid, all of those things. So they do have to get butts and seats, but there should be at least a minimum criteria to say this is what we won't hire. We'll leave a seat open rather than filling it with, a risk factor. Like they should be doing a risk assessment. There should be some sort of formula that is already like whoever does their background checks, whoever makes the decisions, because a lot of times people leave that to a third party service. So someone isn't making like, well, he's a good guy. He came from here or there. He needs a second shot. Some like settling $1 million, multi-million dollar lawsuits, that's also not fair to us. These, the people of any municipality, these hiring practices are a risk. When you're hiring people that should not be in a position, you are now taking a risk with the folk money. Because guess what? When they go and mess up, which there's a higher probability that they will, guess what happens now? We have to pay. We have to compensate people because somebody was so quick to put a butt in the seat. You know what I mean? Like it's very much of a ripple effect. And it ends up affecting all of us. Liv is painfully ignorant. And it's interesting to think that, people think she could do better. I just it's really just kind of like, no, she can't. She's this is cis ignorant. And what is so sad is they tried to cover it up. I don't know that they tried to cover it up. I think that the officer lied and they took him on face value for what he said, and there it went. He said some things, and if you have a circle of trust, right? And say I say something to you right now, and you guys take what I say and it gets repeated. That's why it's so important to go and um correct yourself as soon as you make a mistake. So somehow it was called in that it was a self-inflicted, right? Who I was listening to the dispatch audio and it's like, okay, where did that come from? Where did that come? So, there's two different body cams going on. They were all calling into dispatch. Um, I think that someone said self-inflicted. I'm assuming it's the person that shot and lied and said it was self-inflicted, knowing good and well he better not get up there and say self-inflicted. I meant I as self. I inflicted it and I said self-inflicted, but I meant to say I inflicted. I meant to say I shot her. I don't know. I don't know. Now, as far as them not telling the family, that definitely is a cover up. When they did not tell the family right away exactly what happened, that was giving the cover up to me. I think that officer definitely needed to be fired, but I do honestly think the other officer has some responsibility because I think the other officer, he was there. He was obviously there. And when you start to hear somebody's lying or you start to hear that the story isn't correct, when do you say, wait a second, that's okay, that happen, that did not happen, that kind of stuff. Yeah, because I don't know. There's no excuse for that. I think that the officer who shot Miss Massey, I don't know what he said exactly. I'm going to really love to hear exactly what he said, but I think he said self-inflicted. I don't know if you watch um it's body cam 1 in the video that was released by the state. There was a man outside, a neighbor was asking what happened as body cam 1 was walking down the street. There's a guy standing and he's, "Hey officer, hey, what happened?" And he said something like, maybe he said intruder, domestic, something like that. He said something not the truth. So if you watch my initial reaction to the full video that was released by the state police, we saw that part where one of them was walking down the street at body cam one, and that's what he told a neighbor. So that might be where that came from. That's not the truth. How about just we're unable to talk about that? Like you don't have to tell the neighbors the full rundown, but telling them I'd have to pull it up for you guys to hear it. But he did not say I shot the woman in the kitchen. He didn't say that. I think the partner's just as guilty. Yeah. So therefore they're being accused of throwing hot water was a I don't this is so you didn't see it, Jay Breezy? You guys, if you don't look, this is what I'm gonna say. There are some things that are painful to watch, but if you don't watch it, you don't get the first hand. So you're gonna get a lot of people's opinions. So that's the one thing I want to say. If you gotta watch it, it is disturbing, but it's the reality of 2024. And sometimes a little bit of fear and a little bit of something uncomfortable gives you that awareness so that number one, um, you are a very aware consumer of calling 911 and with the possibilities of what can potentially happen and how even culturally misunderstandings can have you dead. Okay. Um, he so she so they're in the house. I'm gonna just tell you briefly. They're in the house. When they got in, they were outside. They ask her for her ID. She goes inside. Homie follows her. Okay. He follows her in. Why? I do not know. I would have just said, I'd prefer if you stay outside, please. But you know, sis allowed him to come in. She's sitting there, she's trying to find her stuff in her purse. She says she has some paperwork. She says, I don't know what she was trying to find. She was trying to find her ID. She said she had some paperwork she wanted to show them. One of the officers noticed that there was something on the stove and said, we don't need to burn down the house while we're in here. So he basically, and she's like, oh, okay, I'll take care of it. So you see her walking to the kitchen. She walks to the kitchen. I think she turns off the stove. She picks up the pot and he moves. And she says, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the video in front of me. He moves and she says, I'm not going to hurt you or I'm not going to, he said, oh, like basically he was scared. And that's another one of my points. We don't need to have, I mean, law enforcement, I'm sure it's a scary job, but don't be so quick to go up in people's houses then. Do the safe thing and stay outside. Unless there's need to go inside, there's probable cause, there's a crime, you think that there's someone in the house. So she called about a prowler. Unless you thought there was someone in the house that she didn't know about and you wanted to go in to check around and just clear the house to make sure she's good, that's one thing. But as far as entering the home and then okay, you saw it. I was completing my previous comment about where being slow-mo video that shows she never threw. No, I don't think she threw the water at all. I think she had the pot in her hand. She was going towards the sink and he ducked or did some sort of gesture and she said, I'm not going to hurt you. And he said, I didn't want to pot up boiling hot water on me. And I think she was offended by the comment. And he said, and then she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And he said, what did you say? And she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Because I think she was offended that he assumed that she was going to do something. I don't think she was gesturing to pour water on him at all. And he said, I'll shoot you in the fucking face. And I believe at that moment she ducked. I didn't watch it again because I was just like, that was enough for me. She ducked. She said she was sorry. She ducked, immediately went down, and then I think she was coming on the upside of ducking down, and he pow pow pow. Yeah, she said, I'm sorry. He immediately took that as a threat. She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He said, you what? And she said, I rebuke you. He said, I'll shoot you in your fucking face. Whatever. Like it's awful. And he said, he heard what she said. I rebuke you. And he said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus. That's what he said to his boss. And clearly he took that as a threat. And my point, when we watched the reaction video, when we watched the video, I did a reaction. I don't think he knew what that meant. Another person, like he does, I think to him, he, look, whatever. I'm not trying to clear his defense. He took that as a threat. She was offended that he gestured that she was going to even do something to begin with. She rebuked him again. He basically communicated a threat and made good on it immediately. Like it was over in like 15, 20 seconds. It was awful. It was too late at that point. Once he said, "I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking face," he was probably in his mind already ready to shoot. You know what I mean? Like it was just a matter of connecting his hand with his weapon. Um, yeah, I think she was just kind of like, he directed her to the stove. She went to the stove. She got the pot. She's going to the sink, and he gestures as if he was in some sort of danger. He popped off the whole thing. I mean, at the end of the day, he popped it all off. In his brain, in his mind, he had something against her. He was unsure. I don't know what he was. He had something against her, and he immediately had her wrong from the beginning. He had a wrong read on her, and he read her in a way of her as some sort of a threat, and she was someone who was actually in distress and needed help. The lady called 911 twice in that day. Nobody even asked her when she said something about her medication. Did anyone even ask her to make sure she was good on her medication? Do you have what you need? Are you okay? I understand this is the second call today. We cleared the backyard. There's nobody outside. How can we help you? Do you need services here, ma'am? Like instead of aggravating and de-escalating the situation and then walking into her home, why wasn't it okay? Like she wasn't suspected of doing anything, but even before they went in the house, and they were outside waiting for her to open the door, someone mumbled, I don't know if it was officer 1 or officer 2, stated she got to go put her drugs away. Just all kinds of negativity. It was very negative. It was very biased. There was a whole bias before the lady even opened up her door. And yeah, it's unfortunate. It's bad. Um, oh, he had a nasty attitude. He was giving nasty attitude. Absolutely. That's why look, 2024 is the year of exposure. This man needed to be exposed, and she rebuked him in the name of Jesus, not one time but two times, and he took her out. She's in a better place. I mean, she has her beliefs. She believes in God. She rebuked. She knew that there was something bad in her home. Um this guy had this guy was full of negativity, and he showed exactly who he was. And um we don't know how this would have ended had it not ended at that moment. God only knows what would have happened next. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy was really, he was there for, look, it was very evil and negative, and we don't know what else could have happened to that woman. The ultimate happened. She passed away. She was killed in her home. But if it hadn't happened in the kitchen, what else would have happened? You know what I mean? Like it's just it's awful. It's awful. Yeah, mm, yes. I don't even know what to say, guys. I mean, it's sad. It's super sad. It makes people angry. It's triggering. And I know what, look, it's very deep. It's very deep what happened. And the rebuke to me is so powerful. That was so powerful. And that song, the soldier in the army of the Lord. I That's all I could think about. She rebuked him heavy and hard. And his toxicity and the negativity that resided in him, it happened so quick. Twice. To his face. Mhm. He felt that. Yeah, and it was very toxic. That was girl, baby, it was very deep. Um, he felt that rebuke. He really did. I don't even know what to say, guys. It's very sad. Very sad. Um, I hope she's at peace, and I hope that she's very much at peace, and I hate this for her family, um, that they had to go through this experience. This is awful. But I think that she is okay. She's protected. She clearly is a believer, saved woman. She rebuked that evil negative toxicity out of her home. You see, he had to leave out the house and not go get his kit and not waste his medical supplies, and let's just go ahead and let her go. um why bother to offer her any comfort, any life saving, any triage of holding the wound, trying to stop some bleeding? It was a mess. He showed so much of the opposite of what he took an oath to do, which is why he's been dismissed. There's no way he could stay on the job. He was so opposite of what he was on the clock for on that day. Oh yeah, he cursed her. Yeah. It was bad. It was really, really bad, guys. Jay Breezy, thank you for the member milestone. I appreciate it. I appreciate you supporting for so long. Thank you, sis. Um, Girl, he's had 6 jobs in 4 years. I got his record. Let me see what it said. Hold on. Mm, no, he was also working part-time. They said he had colon cancer and he had a ostomy bag. I'm just wondering, I'm assuming you can do that. I'm just surprised he was out in the field with that. I would have thought he would have more like an office job. Okay. So he hadn't even been with the department he'd been with the department for 14 months. So just going back, what they released, Officer Sean Grayson, Pawnee, he was with the Pawnee Police Department from August 2020 to July 2021, part-time. February 2021, so there's some overlap with the Kincaid Police Department, and he did that for 3 months. So Pawnee, he was with them for 11 months. Kincaid, he had some overlapping part-time from February to May. Then in May, he got hired right on up. May of 2021 to December 2021, part-time again. And that was in between working for Pawnee and working for Virden Police Department. So in that time, he left Pawnee. And then 7/21, he was hired at Auburn Police Department on 7/20/21. He left Pawnee 7/26/2021, worked with Auburn for 10 months. So from July of 2021 to May of 2022, excuse me. Worked with them 10 months. Then, and that was full time. And then he went on the day closing his employment with Auburn, he went to Logan 5/1/2022 to 4/28. He can't even hold a job for the longest job he had was Sangamon County Sheriff's Office. He went to Logan County Sheriff from May to April of 2023. He joined May of 2023 to July 17th, which was the day he got fired. 2024, July 17th, 2024. The longest job he's had since 2020 was the job that he just got fired from. So he had, and I mean, I guess during the pandemic, so some of those part-time situations were during the pandemic. Coming out of the pandemic, I would call that three, basically 4 jobs. So he had 3 part-time overlapping, and then going into Auburn, he had a full-time and a part-time. And then once he left Auburn, he went to Logan for 11 months and then Saginaw for 14 months. Well, not really. If, I wouldn't say it's negligence because there's going to be a test, there's going to be interviews, there's going to be background checks. And I'm going to say it's not even the departments, it's the municipalities that set the criteria because the departments are just, they don't set policy. The city, the state, the county, the governor set the hiring practices. These are county sheriffs. So the county, the municipality, the damn county seat, the mayor's, well, not even the mayor. Let's say the like the at-large seats are dealing with the sheriff's department. So sheriff's department, maybe even the governor, your local senators. A lot of those people are on those commissions that are setting the policy in practice. The HR person is not setting policy. You might sit at the table in leadership. If you are a HR leader, You might sit at the table, but who's setting policy are the politicians and leadership of who's going to get hired and why, not on an individual basis, but the criteria, the either the testing, the evaluations, and the background checks. What is permissible? Because we've had these conversations on Real Talk Bougie. There's people out here who don't even think we need background checks anymore. Okay, there's people who think people need second, third, and fifth 25 chances. Okay. So we have to also get real with when is it that we're going to hold people to be accountable and be chanced out rather than, oh, bless his little pointy head. You know what I'm saying? So, um, well, I don't agree with hiring people with DUIs. I mean, if you were a nurse or a doctor and you had two back-to-back DUIs or you had DUIs, period, your license might be in jeopardy. Forget about your job at the hospital. Your license may be, you may be asked to sit down for 6 months. You may be sanctioned. You may have some problems, you know? So absolutely, I find it hard to believe that this guy got hired with 2 DUIs. I think that was crazy. But whoever is setting the policy that thinks that DUIs maybe because they were misdemeanors and they were not felonies. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't run off the road, didn't have a car accident. He was just pulled over. I think DUIs are a sign that someone could potentially have a drinking problem because most people will never get pulled over drinking. And it happens once, they'll never do it again. Most people. But if you have a drinking problem and that's just what you do, you go out, you drink, you drive recklessly, you drink way too much, you're failing sobriety tests, that's a problem. Oh, that's yeah, Benjamin Crump is already in the building. Yeah, that's what they may not really have to. I'm going to be honest. The state of Illinois has issued so many statements. I'm sure their general counsel are working on something right now. I don't know that they're going to have to sue. They just need to come to the table with enough. And not that that's going to take Miss Massey's place, but they just need to come to the table with a reasonable enough offer to make life bearable for the children she left behind and her family. But I don't even think they're going to really need to sue because there's going to be immediate settlements. I don't think they're going to take, the man is already arrested. He's been fired. They've issued statements. They have put out all of the audio, like they've put him out to dry. They're not covering for him at this moment at all. I think that he lied. This is my opinion. I think that from the minute he shot that lady and he went outside, he started the lie. And because it's a circle of trust position, I think the people went based on what the officer told them. And whatever they told them, that's what they went off of until you get there. When his boss got in there, he walked through and he said, "Where's the gun?" He's like, "There is no gun." But and you know why that makes sense now? Why when the police, let me get the, I don't know. Some of you guys might not want to watch this and some of you are at work. So let's not do it. So when after the shooting and Ms. Massey's on the floor, right? You notice that the guy, so the supervisor, there was a guy with white or gray hair came walking through and he said, "Where's the gun?" And he said, "There is no gun." He said she had a pot of boiling hot water. She was going to throw it at me or something like that. And it made sense now that he asked, "Well, where's the gun?" Because the word was that it was self-inflicted. So if it was self-inflicted and the supervisor got there, where's the gun? That's why he asked, "Where's the gun?" Make sense? Where's the gun? Yeah, there is no gun. And they asked because they said it was self-inflicted. Does the department have qualified immunity? I don't know. I think police officers have a certain amount of immunity because they're doing their job. but he was terminated because they felt that he did not. The statement from, hold on a second. Let me see. So, from the director of the Illinois State Police, they said, with strong cooperation from Sonia Massey's family and the state's attorney, ISP conducted and submitted a timely, independent investigation of the criminal conduct of the now former Saginaw County Sheriff's deputy. This is more of like a statement. Humanity must be at the heart and soul of righteous law enforcement. Inhumane conduct in the form of unlawful violence is a betrayal of the public trust, the betrayal of an officer oath, the betrayal of the men and women of law enforcement who serve with humanity, patience, and courage every day. It will not be tolerated anytime. So this is following his arrest. Let me see what they said on let me see. They have a certain amount of immunity, but if you don't, let's just say this. If you're Eve, if you're let's say there's 10 criteria to do your job and to make a risk assessment or to use deadly force, right? If there's 10 criteria and all of it is thrown out the window. You use none of your training. You use none of the guidelines. You use none of the protocols. You use no damn good sense. You're outside of immunity. So whether he's got immunity as a police officer to do his job, when they're like, this was an officer involved shooting, we feel like it was justified and this, that, and the third happened. They assess the body worn camera, and that's why he's fired, and that's why he's arrested. That's why he's been indicted. That's why the Illinois State Police has turned their back on him. They say that he did not follow the code of conduct nor the policy and procedures. So, whatever immunity he could have had, you know how, like, when you're doing your job, if you let's just say you're doing your job and your job includes dealing with customers and a customer curses you out and you curse them out and spit on them, even though it was justified and they also deserve to get their ass beat because you stepped outside of your training, which was to walk away at the very point, just walk away. Even if you're being disrespectful, just walk away. They're going to say, well, you engaged, you got physically, and okay, all of that. Like the man who got um, killed in Milwaukee recently at the Hyatt. There was no part of what they said, according to the Hyatt, that they condone subduing someone in such a manner, even though people are saying to the contrary. Um, that they were told to do. No one told you to use excessive force, right? So I don't know. I think immunity goes out the window. Once they fire you, once you are no longer protected, once you have been asked to go on administrative leave, I think when you shoot, you're on administrative leave with pay. If they feel that you have gone outside of the parameters of your job, they may do without pay because they're slowly separating from you, and once they fire you, you're done. You're on your own. So his income could be attached if he's got any assets, a home, on top of the settlement, from the state or whatever. They could sue him personally and just, make sure that they deplete any assets or any future assets. But he may be going to jail for a while. They've do I have the indictment pulled up? I wasn't even prepared to talk about this morning. Hold on, let me see. This is not, I don't have the indictment in front. Maybe I drove it in my phone. I know I got the indictment. I didn't know I was planning on talking about something completely different. Yeah, he's done. Like he's done. They're done with him. He doesn't have police. He doesn't have lawyers. He's doing everything on his own. He's done. He's done. Well, we'll worry about that if in fact, we don't want to speak certain, like, let's look at this. We don't want to speak certain things into existence. This is me. If I don't believe in something or want something, it's doesn't even exist to me. So we're seeing the numbers. We're seeing if that's what people don't want, okay? What people want is what people should focus on. Don't worry about what you don't want. Focus on what you do want. So if that's not the result that you're looking for at the polls in November, I wouldn't even who? You know what I mean? What? I wouldn't even worry about that because that first of it has to happen for it to happen. You know what I mean? And it might not happen, you know? It very well may not happen. So, anyway, guys, this took a complete left turn. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about it. I didn't. A lot of, like I said, a lot of you guys are at work. Maybe you got kids around or whatever. I don't want to. I'm not going to show the video again. We did a complete breakdown of the video. I'll get the link, and I felt like it was a it was a great conversation, and I think I shared it, but maybe I didn't. Um, I just ask you guys to go and go check it out. It was a good number of us, and we watched the whole entire video. Adequate trigger warnings, so don't worry. I just think it's definitely something that needs to be seen. And even a couple like I just had an aha moment since we've been talking because when the like I said, when the supervisor came in and said, "Where's the gun?" I was kind of like, "What do you mean, where's the gun? Like he shot her. Where would the gun be? She had a pot of water, right?" Um, he was asking where the gun was because it was called into dispatch that it was a self-inflicted wound. And then if you also notice when it goes to body cam 2, and so when body cam 2, which I'm assuming is Officer Grayson, right? When Officer Grayson walks out onto the steps, he walks out to the porch, right? And everybody's looking at him and they said, "So do we have a suspect?" And he said, "It's me." And they all looked like, "What?" Because it had been called in that it was a self-inflicted. And then I'm sure if whoever that guy was, I don't know what his title was, comes out and they said, "Well, so do we have a suspect?" And he said, "It's me." That's why they were all kind of like, "Well, what's going on?" Because at first it was self-inflicted. That's what they thought. And then also you hear dispatch. That's another reason why um dispatch was told to slow down because maybe at first they thought that because there was a prowler call, right? There was a call for a prowler. In that meantime, now all of a sudden there's a shooting. Was it the prowler? Oh, there's conflicting information. It's self-inflicted. They told the squad cars, you can hear in the dispatch. I'll share the dispatch audio with you. We didn't listen to that. Maybe we'll listen to that. It's a little hard to understand, but I listened to it a second time and I'm like, okay. Because then they start telling the squad cars to slow down to make room for the ambulances that are coming through. So squad cars were on the way, but you can hear the dispatches directing them be on the lookout because emergency vehicles are coming through because we have a life-threatening situation. There's a shot to the head. So dispatch is escalating the emergency vehicles and telling the squad cars to slow down and make room for the EMS is coming through. That's why they say that, right? And then so you can kind of there's multiple different things going on when you're hearing dispatch, but when I heard that I was like, why would they tell the squad cars to slow down? Well, they didn't need any help anymore. There was already, if you watch the videos, there was a ton of law enforcement already on the scene and arriving. What they needed space was for the EMS to show up, right? So they were telling squad cars, please slow down, make room. EMS is coming through, going to Hoover, whatever the address was on Hoover, telling them to clear the way and to not be in the way because the EMS was coming. I mean, it's very interesting hearing the 360, hearing the dispatch, because you have to kind of think about the dispatch as things are happening when you're seeing body cam 1, body cam 2. If you've only seen the 2 or 3 minute soundbite, which I don't know what everyone has seen, but I just dropped a link to the video. We watched the whole thing. We watched from start to finish body cam 1, body cam 2. We did not listen to the dispatch. And then towards the end is the press conference with Benjamin Crump and the family, giving their thoughts and feelings and recollection of the time when they were contacted as a family, as about what happened and all of the things. So, and I guess back to the original thing we were talking about initially, for it's just the insensitivity and the trolling for me of some of these moms who think it's a good idea because something is a hot topic. I mean, I'm a social media mom too, but at the end of the day, I'm going to just say if I'm talking about a hot topic, I try to give everybody their respect. Olivia specifically is so damn disrespectful. And you're not a commentary channel, sis. You're not a blogger. You're not a commentary channel. Does it mean you can't give your thoughts and opinions? But as being a woman and being a certain age, sometimes you have to realize when it's a good time and it's a bad time and learn how to read the room. And even though you really are not fit to give your thoughts and opinions on many topics because they're ill informed and not well rounded, at a certain point, sometimes you just have to have enough class to just give people space and opportunity to grieve. I don't know Sonia Massey, but I know that seeing this situation makes me triple, quadruple think before I'm ever going to call 911 again. And that's a service that I pay for as a homeowner, as a resident, as a homeowner, and as a taxpayer. I don't want to use that service because I don't know that I'm going to trust it. I don't know that if someone shows up to my home that is culturally not on the same page with me, that something bad might happen. And that's not the intent for law enforcement in a community. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And the fact that she is so quick to speak on this and be so ill informed and so classless and so nasty about it, to even infer that it was a skit is absolutely unbelievable. It's like, can you do what you do? Can you work out in the living room? Can you go run to damn Salvation Army? Can you go make some bad dinners? Nobody asked for your thoughts and opinions on what's a hot topic right now. Nobody asked you. You are not a blogger. Nobody wants your opinion. They want to see you get on this internet and talk about ridiculous dating. We want to hear you for the 1000th time deny Zolo bands as a father. We don't want your opinion on what's going on in the world. You're not informed or educated enough to speak on certain topics. You can't even talk about price shopping. You can't even talk about saving money, discounts, home economics, and managing a household because you don't even do that. You don't even do that. Worry about your $22,000 in child support, ma'am. Worry about your next pickup debacle with your ex husband. Worry about you and your mom next apartment. Worry about cleaning up your credit. Worry about finding a bra. Worry about leaving people alone. That's what I would do. You being out here trying to be a blogger, sis, it don't work. It doesn't work. You're not a blogger, sis. Nobody wants to hear your opinion. You don't know what you're talking about. You sound silly and slow and stupid. Silly, slow, and stupid. And you're being disrespectful to the memory of someone who got shot in the face because they needed some help. They needed help and they were having a moment. And instead of, unfortunately the wrong people showed up and ma'am was funeralized this week. Okay? You have no room to really talk about this. It's awful. Where is this woman? Hold on, let me find her. I don't have a just live. Oh, here we go. This lady right here, Olivia the colorist. Oh yeah, here we go. Much better. Sis thought it was a good idea to come up and just slide the bar back or just look at the video that I just posted. It's like an 8-minute video. She had some commentary on Instagram. It's so funny that she went to do this commentary on Instagram rather than YouTube because she knew YouTube was going to light her ass up as much as she calls girl as much as she calls. But sis thinks she's white. She's white when she calls the police. She's not black. She's white. And then she has her very disrespectful ass mother there. Liv is she's disrespectful. That's the best thing I can say. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. I didn't intend to make this a whole commentary on Liv, but I guess that's what happened because we just go with the flow and we go with the spirit, and that's what needed to be put out on today, and that is very much okay. But we're gonna get into something else. This 2024 Cat Williams, it said that this is the year of exposure, and Sean Grayson was exposed. He was exposed for many different reasons. Oh, you know what? They're calling Portia's ready. Hold on just a second, guys. Okay, Portia's ready. Portia had to get her hair done. Bitches is mad all 2024. So yeah, guys, I'm glad we had a chance to talk about it. If you guys want to talk about it again, I'm so open. I have no problem. I do feel like this is definitely, I mean, being safe in your home, a lot, living alone, all of those kind of things, it's real. And people hear a bump in the night and they may or may not have someone to call. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Coffee is brewing. Someone, you want to feel safe and secure with our law enforcement. And I have a lot of respect for law enforcement. I really do, even despite what's happened, because I don't believe that all police officers are bad. Unfortunately, the news doesn't spend a lot of time bubbling up the stars of our community who are doing great things, showing up to the schools, who've been on their job for 25 and 30 years, doing an amazing job in serving the community, the ones that show up, the school resource officers that are there helping your kids cross and I'm talking about like we have one at my daughter's school. I don't know how long he's been in law enforcement, but he's now a school resource officer, but I don't even think he's coming back this year, but he clearly has been in the game for a long time. Sir is in his 60s. And we don't hear about those guys, those women and men of law enforcement. We unfortunately only have time in a 30-minute newscast to bubble up the ones who are a complete embarrassment and hurt the community, unfortunately. Which is why people don't trust. It's sad. It really is, because there's people out here who do a very hard job, good every single day. So I kind of want to be on the record for saying that, because I feel like we have to. They're all we have. If you're in trouble and we've been trained since kids to call 911, we got to trust that it's good. You know what I mean? So, but in light of this situation, it makes you want to second guess. Anyway, guys, I love you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I'm going to update this title because the title now is all wrong. Even though it's kind of still live as a social media mom. Oh my God, can you believe what she said? Maybe I'll say, so these social media moms, oh my God, can you believe what she said? Maybe I'll do that. Anyway, I love you guys. Yes, Portia. I did take a picture of Lambo for you guys this morning. I will take a picture of Portia. Lambo is not ready to do the groomers yet because he's still buck wild. We cut him down this week. Me and my husband. Well, it was a group effort. So I will send you pictures. Lambo is cute as I don't know what. Liv, get a picture of Martin Luther King tatted on your face, and maybe we'll think about taking you seriously. Taking you seriously. I hate when stuff like this happens. It affects us in the law enforcement that aim to do the right. Absolutely. I mean, but you just know, people believe in you guys. At the end of the day, law enforcement would not have been able to withstand over however many 100+ years if in the public good things were not happening. It's some bad apples. It's people that never should have gotten in. There is also mental illness is real. There are people who have access to grind. There's people who have biases. There's all kinds of things. And it's in many different jobs. Like, it's not, you may have someone biased sitting next to you right now at the call center or in the hospital, a doctor. I do have a story to bubble up that actually has it's being talked about right now. A Supreme Court judge in New York, a New York State Supreme Court judge, threatened a bunch of kids, predominantly Black kids. It was like a mixed group of diverse kids, but this lady came out the house and lost her shit on the kids at the party. I don't know if she was mad. Maybe one of the kids weren't supposed to be having a party. Maybe all the people weren't supposed to be at the house. I think her husband had gotten into it with a couple of the kids, but she threatened to shoot some children. And this is a judge. Anyway, she's getting her ass handed to her right now. So we'll talk about that. I don't know if we're gonna talk about it today, but I pulled all of the documents. I think she has been unseated, to be quite honest. Like, she's some problems. Anyway, but yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate and it's embarrassing. It puts a black mark, or it puts a mark. It puts a negative. It puts a check. It puts an eyeball. It puts everything to question. It does all of those things. So yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about it. I pulled down the decision from the governance. So there was recently a decision based on her seat, and yes, it didn't go well. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. We got to go get Lammy. We got to go get Portia. And I'll be back over on Real Talk Bougie in a little bit. Okay. All right, guys. I love you guys. Take care. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. And if you did not see the video on my other channel, go check it out. Drop in. Let me know that you came through. If you don't mind, I really do appreciate the support. So if you're here and you're not subscribed over there to my channel, OSIP, go check it out. And I will see you guys a little bit later on. Okay. All right, guys, take care. I'm like, where's my outro?
It seems like yours is going to be raised by you as a single mother and him. And they're going to be calling another woman stepmama at the rate you're going, because you're too busy in everybody business, and you're not paid to be in that business. I'm paid to be in people business. You're not paid to be in people business, okay? You not paid. I get paid. This is what I do. It's given that you want to be a blogger That's why you stay heavy in the blogs. You want to control our news because secretly, deep down, that's what you want to do. You want to be a blogger. You want to be the media.